Well, a lot of people don't consider TLC in many applications in the laboratory. They may have a method, especially in pharmaceutical, where they do some TLC for raw material entry into the system. And there it's just, do they see any other components or not? It's a yes or no pass. But I think everybody should use TLC because they can, first of all, the most important part of any method is the sample preparation. So doing sample preparation is critical. And you can do fast development of a method for sample prep with using TLC and many test tubes and many little mini SPE tubes, etc. So you don't know what you're going to get unless you do some TLC, and you don't have to do serial injections, etc. Also, when it comes to the final method on an HPLC column, people still think if they do a methanol wash, if they've been using a methanol water gradient, that that's going to clean the column. So I always say you really have to do some TLC work with a silica gel plate, a bonded C18 plate, to see what stays at the origin. So it's the only way you know what is moving or not moving through the column. And whether or not the cleaning method that you've chosen to wash and clean the column after X number of samples is necessary to do the TLC, that's the only method that will show you if those actual wash solvents do what they're supposed to do. Many times they do not. So people were really amazed. I show some examples of that in courses that I teach about, and they realize that that's a deficit in a method that they've developed. They really don't know what's happening and what's not moving through. Everybody's hung up, because that's what they know, on reverse phase HPLC. They really don't know any other modes of chromatography. So they may not even consider silica gel chromatography or TLC because they just don't use them as tools from data on a day-to-day basis. So I find the deficiency is in their training that they don't know that any tool, analytical tool, is valuable in its place, and each complements the other. So they should know more about TLC. They should know how to control the separation. They just think they just spot it and go. They have no idea about sample prep or getting rid of the oils and creams and the steroid, for steroids and some sort of medicinal product. There's many, many things they don't have. Now what's happened in the market is really miniaturization of everything. But even HPTLC is not widely used in the United States because people don't know the advantages of using it. And so I'm always trying to teach people about the methods and tools that they do not use in an analytical laboratory, because I think they're not using 50% of what could be an advantage to them to develop a method and optimize on that particular method, no matter what it's for, just for typical sample prep, TLC or HPLC. Usually I'm looking for anything that has to do with some sort of chromatography. So I go around, I just found a new company that sells devices for making high purity water. It's a beautiful design. So even high purity water is one of the critical components, because everybody's using mobile phases that have X number of percentage of water in mobile phase. So everybody knows Barnstead and Millipore, but they don't know a lot of other companies. So you can look around, or fortunately for Google, you can find those companies really quickly. And I also tell people, use the web, because that's going to be a source for you to get information. And woe be the company that doesn't develop the website to help people move along through the catalog and or the tools, the care and use, and how-tos. So it's just a simple and inexpensive thing that anybody, a marketing manager, can make sure that's on their website. But as far as the instrumentation, again, micronization and fast HPLC. So we all know today companies are not going to be hiring many people. They'll buy instrumentation to automate and get more sample throughput and reduce analysis costs. So that's really sort of the trend. Whether or not you have to go that direction is also, you have to look at the potential that each has, the tools have, and whether or not you can put that in your budget.